So I was interested in the role of technology and its place in the novel, because the novel also seems to struggle between whether it's a positive or a negative force. I just wondered about your thoughts on that.
The role of technology in the book, okay, really interesting. So that makes me think about two things, two different types of technology. One's drones, and the other is Twitter. So on the drone side of things, it was obvious that drones are coming and they're soon going to be part of our lives in a way that they aren't literally at the time of writing. So that was using that as a motif. I thought was a way to plug this into the reader's mind that we are in the near future, but some things are just a little bit further, than we've got right now. What I thought was exciting and completely frightening as I try and fashion it together was I thought, well, one of the things that I need the technology to do is, what do you do with lots of unemployed younger people or people who can't get great jobs? And so I was just actually shocked at how easily the ideas flowed of taking over the charity shops that litter our emptying high streets and now are emptying shopping malls, and repurposing them in a way that could very well fit with the younger generation, a technologically savvy younger generation, and get them off the streets and start giving them something. I was very much had Hitler in mind when I was kind of fashioning that bit of it. So there's kind of the technology as a time marker of the future, technology as making us think actually frighteningly quickly we could take a disaffected younger generation and repurpose them and re-identify them and have them do stuff in our society that we haven't quite thought of at the moment. So that was one side of it. On Twitter, obviously the technology of Twitter's here, but my first career was as a civil servant. I mean, I worked in the Treasury. I inhabited a world of laws and parliament and those kinds of things. And I think in a way which did honestly slightly anticipate Trump. So I thought, well, actually, what if the government of the future doesn't even bother with repealing laws or doing things the old-fashioned way? What if we just move to government by tweet, and the government just says, well, don't care if we haven't passed it through Parliament. I mean, how old-fashioned. We're tweeting to you, the citizens, what we want you to do, and you, the citizens, can decide whether it's in your interest to do it. And actually then, a bit like the Maginot Line, we could find that our defences of democracy and human rights, of which we're so proud, like our Maginot Line, are just completely outflanked by a kind of use of technology that just says, well, that's really boring old crap, and we ignore it. Does the novel treat everyone as deserving scorn? In a certain sense, I was trying to do something like that. A really important thing for me in trying to write the novel, and to write the two brothers, Bob and Zach, both in the first person, is I really wanted to give my best shot at the reader feeling the mutual contempt of each for the other. Because I do think that the thing about democracy coming apart at the seams is that in all our different Western countries, we have a huge mutual ignorance and contempt, mutual, between ruling class and ruled. We have a whole bunch of the ruled who really are thinking, who the fuck needs experts? And these guys, they're just impossible. They don't listen to us. They don't care about us. And you have the ruling class thinking, oh my God, the idea of one of them controlling any of the levers of power. So to that extent, yes, I think the novel would actually fail if we didn't connect and perhaps even recognize in ourselves there is something deserving of the word contempt in our attitude to each other, and that's what kind of maybe needs to be tackled. But I think another way I'd like to put it, very much alongside that, is I love all my characters, and I hope that the reader would find something lovable, something to appreciate in all of them. So absolutely, for example, there's bits of Bob that I hope people do warm to, as well as bits of Zach and Kathy, and even the permanent secretary has got his plus sides. Maybe I'm a bit harsh on Prince Charles, though. A postmodern world means that when people go around claiming that things are facts, there's, I don't know, was Derrida or whoever it was said, you know, a fact is something that tries to deny your ability to quite inquire into how did that get to be anointed as a fact. And so that's why, at one level, trying to respond to politicians lying so much just by saying, but there are facts, sounds very appealing in a commonsensical way, but it's actually going to fail. We actually have to give a more honest answer about truth, which is that truth comes in all kinds of slippery shapes and sizes. So in the novel, I try and open that up from the beginning with Cathy's mother, who appears to have dementia. But right from chapter 1, I throw in the idea, but what if she was only pretending to have dementia? What if older people had worked out that a way of having power, as they kind of fade off into irrelevance in the younger generation's lives, was actually to pretend to have dementia? And that, for me, also sparked the thought, actually, could a country have dementia? I mean, there's another way of looking at the state that Britain's in, as if we were like a nation with dementia. We just keep remembering and going back to bits of our distant past, but increasingly out of touch with what's going on really around us. So right from the beginning, what's truth is meant to be complex. One of the things that makes the plot turn is this idea that there's a dark secret in our defences that has been fiercely defended by every one of our prime ministers since 1994. Something shocking, if it were true. And I hope that helps the plot of the book to run. But you're meant to be left at the end with the idea, as you think about our nuclear deterrent, that actually even the simple thing of what is a fact? Is it a fact that we have a nuclear deterrent? Is it a fact that our nuclear deterrent has kept us safe for 2 generations? Do any of these things deserve to be called facts? It is meant to leave us thinking it's a bit more complex than that. So I'm an unashamed postmodernist, and I don't think we're going to be able to honestly answer the crisis of truth in our political society if we don't own up to the complexities of truth.